So I just want to make this real quick. Hopefully it's not too long, but I might have to go ahead and make the video. It's crazy because give you a better view, right? It's crazy because today at work, right? I just got off, but today at work, like, okay. First of all, I'm gonna just say this: a lot of black trans women, I've noticed. Yeah, I'm Nigerian. I'm Nigerian American, so I don't really vibe with a lot of black Americans. But, there's some camaraderie, I guess just on DNA wise, not like culture wise. But this is the point I'm trying to make. A lot of black trans women have told me that, like, they hate it when their cis friend or some cis girl or whatever, like, tells a guy that they're hanging out with or I don't even know, they're hanging out with or they're dating or whatever, that's a trans woman or whatever, right? So, for me, I'm going to just say this. I'm not going to make this like a big thing because this is how I feel. I really don't believe in masculinity or femininity. I feel like they're just things to play in, and they're the extremes of two ends, Like, they have their purposes, but then they're not, And I honestly see femininity within masculinity, and I see masculinity within femininity. But that's a whole other subject, right? But this whole video is just to say that a lot of black trans women say that, like cis women always like out them or something like that, right? To men that is in the vicinity, that they know, that they're talking to, that they're cool with, their boyfriends, or whatever, right? So I'm literally working, right? I'm being trained by this guy. They asked one of the guys that's, I guess, been working there for a while, whatever, to train me on doing something. And I'm like listening, I'm just watching and listening. This black woman literally comes beside both of us. She's not even staring at us, she's just staring into space. And I just kind of noticed her real quick, like, why are you just standing here? That's weird, but okay, whatever, I'm just here to learn what I'm learning. And then, like, I'm sitting here learning what I'm learning, and next thing you know, she goes up to the guy that's teaching me. It's like, he's working, he's like, just watch me, right? So I'm watching him work, I'm seeing how he's doing it. She goes up to him and whispers in his ear, obviously loud enough, and she's like, he's gay, right? And then I heard him say, like, yeah, I know. And then she started laughing, like, I was like, I looked like that. I straight up went like that. I went like, what? Like, that's wild. That's really wild, though. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know how to explain that situation. You know what I mean? I can't even begin to explain to you guys how weird that is. How weird it is. It's just too weird. And anytime I feel like, I'm not gonna lie, this is my personal opinion, anytime somebody starts hating on gay or trans people, I immediately think you're extremely in the closet. That's how I see things. I think that she is a lesbian. She lacks in femininity, and now she sees somebody who's more feminine to her. She probably hates men because she feels like men are probably her meal ticket. I can keep on going. Personally for me, this is why I don't befriend black people, black Americans, but black people in general, even my own people, Nigerians, I don't befriend them. I don't befriend anybody really at this point, but this is part of adulting. But that was crazy to me because I was just like, I don't believe in masculinity or femininity. So at this point for me in my transition, the reason I transitioned was my spiritual journey. You get what I'm saying? I learned masculine principles and feminine principles. And in my spiritual journey, I was taught to combine them both. And that is the synergy of life. And so the embodiment of God, for me, is not a man or a woman. You get what I'm saying? The embodiment of God is really both, but not even really both. You get what I'm saying? It's just spirit. So that was the reason why I transitioned. It was to embody femininity in me. Everything else that everybody else is on, it's really sad because it's just really sad. It's just, I find it really, I'm actually almost really sad for these people because it just shows how messed up they are in the brain. You know what I mean? And I think it was somebody else said this on TikTok, like, it's really like gender supremacy. They have a gender supremacist mindset, and so that's the reason why they do that. You get what I'm saying? It's very toxic. And it's really, and one more thing I'm going to have to say this, it's really, really sad because a lot of what they're doing is the things that I used to do when I was like internalized transphobia, internalized homophobia, and homophobic a little bit. It's crazy because I did the same thing when I was like in 7th grade. I was playing football, throwing football on the football field at recess or whatever, gym, not recess. And I saw this stud, this Hispanic stud chick or whatever, and I remember telling a guy, oh, she's a lesbian. And I remember she came to my face because she probably overheard me, I think, and she was like, what'd you say about me? And I told her straight up in her face, but I didn't say it like in an aggressive way, like, oh, you're a lesbian, that's because I always had this part of me that was like, I was homophobic because it was like the culture, but I was never actually homophobic. You know what I mean? And so, because as you can see, and so, so I just told her straight up in her face, like, oh, you're a lesbian. But I said it with a smile, and I think she kind of knew that, like, you know, this is the way I sound, everything. She probably was like, but she still got in my face and had to like thug it up or whatever. You know, she was an essay chick, you know what I'm saying? So she was really hard. But anyways, it just kind of mind boggles me because I'm just like, man, we're grown adults, you know, and you're doing this, and that's something I did when I was in 7th. That's what I did when I was in 7th grade. You know what I mean? I was in middle school. Like, that's wild, you know? But, yeah, and here's the thing about it, it makes it really weird. For me personally, it's funny because these people are so full of hate. It doesn't matter if you're trans or not. These people do this. You have to understand this. They do this. You get what I'm saying? When I was a man, people still did this same thing. I remember I was in college. I wanted a girlfriend. I wanted to find a girl and make her my girlfriend, one girlfriend. All my friends were like, how can you spit game to all these girls, and how can you sit here and, you know what I'm saying, like, get all these girls and have sex with them or whatever. And I said, oh, I don't want to do that. And you know what they called me? They called me gay. They called me gay for one day. You see? But he's the same dudes that make TikToks about, oh, when I see my friend and he has a fat butt, and you go ahead and smack it. Like, what are y'all on? You know, like, and this is why I just don't even care anymore. I have to, like, really, like, just ignore it. But, you know, Spirit told me not to come to Illinois. You know, but hey, here we are. So, yeah, I guess I'm gonna just do what I'm here to do, and I'm gonna leave. You know, be careful on TikTok because there's a lot of people that are trying to inform. Because I got the information from another trans woman, whatever, on TikTok. She made a video, and yeah, this is not it. You know. But that's all I gotta say. See you later.